Hi everybody. Today we're going to be talking about surface area of rectangular prisms. So this is lesson 9.2. I'm on page 495. So we know how to find area, right? You multiply two sides together to find the area of a two-dimensional shape. Now, when we talk about surface area, you're talking about all the surfaces around a three-dimensional object. And one way to find surface area is to make what's called a net. So basically, if you were to take a box like this, you were to cut it on its sides and open it up and lay it flat, you would create something like this. And this is what a net is. When we're dealing with a three-dimensional figure like this rectangular prism, you would end up with 6 rectangular faces. So we can see here, here's the bottom. So that's the bottom there, the top, on the top, the back here, and the front, and then our two sides. So when you lay it out, it would look like this. The dimensions are still the same, right? This length is still 3 inches. This height is still 2 inches. And this length is still 4. All of those are still the same. They're just laid out flat, and now we can find the area of each of the pieces. The surface area is then added all together. So let's take a look at example 1. To make a net to represent a rectangular prism, we take a look at our dimensions. We have 8, 6, and 10. So the first thing you want to do is start by drawing the front of it. Here's the front. The front is 10 by 8. So we can draw a rectangle that is 10 by 8. Then we have our sides that are 8 by 6. And then we would add our top and bottom. And those are 10 by 6. So you would then put them where they belong. All together, we would then add to the back, and you can see what the back would look like. We can then draw this out use in order to find the surface area by finding the area of each one of the faces and then adding them together. Now, we'll have experience with this during our net activity, so you'll be pretty familiar with it. So let's talk about actually finding the surface area. So here we have a rectangular prism, and we're going to open it up to create a net. And what we're going to do is find the area of each of the sides, each of the faces. So the first thing that we would do here is find maybe the front and the back. These two should have the same area. We would do 3 times 4, which is 12, and this would also be 12. Now let's do this side. We have 2 inches by 4 inches. 2 times 4 is 8. Well, this one would also be 8. Then we have our top and our bottom, and that's 3 inches by 2 inches, which is 6, and another 6 here. Now, what you would do then is add this all together. 12 plus 8 is 20. 12 plus 8 is another 20, so we have 40, 46, and then add our another 6 on there to get 52. So that's how we could find a total of all of the faces. Now, the other way to do this, instead of drawing it all the way out, is we can make a formula. And what this formula says is we're going to do 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the height times the width, plus 2 times the length times the height. Okay, so, and it doesn't really matter what order you put your numbers in, as long as you use each of the numbers the same amount of times. So maybe we say the 10 here is our length, the 6 here is our width, and the 8 here is our height. So what we're going to do now is do just that. Okay, plug it in. So I'm going to use the space over here. So 2 times the length times the width. So 2 times 10 times 6. Okay, plus 2 times 6 times 8, plus 2 times 8 times 10. Now, let's go ahead and solve. 6 times 10 is 60. So we're going to do 2 times 60. 6 times 8 is 48. We're going to do that times 2. And 8 times 10 is 80. And then we're going to multiply that times 2. And then now we're going to keep going. 2 times 60 is 120. 2 times 48 is 96. And 2 times 80 is 160. Now add them all together. So we would then do 160 plus 120 would give us 280 plus 96. So that would give us 376. So the surface area of this rectangular prism here, this box here, would be 376 centimeters squared. Now, because this is just area and not volume, we are labeling in square units. So in this case, centimeters, square centimeters. All right. Now, we're going to do the same thing here with your check. You can use the same kind of method. Now, you can find the area of each of the faces and add them together, or you can use my method of formula. Surface area equals, right, 2 times 3 times 2.4 plus 2 times 2.4 times 2 plus 2 times 3 times 2. Okay? You could do it that way, or you can find the area of each of the faces. Either way. Now, go ahead, pause here, and solve. And we're going to work it out together. Now, if you were doing this problem, so we're going to start with what's in our parentheses. 3 times 2.4 is 7 times 2, and then we're going to multiply that by 2. So you would get 14.4 plus 2.4 times 2 times 2 again will give us 9.6 plus 3.2 times 2 times 2 again would give us 12.8. Then we add them all together. 12.8 plus 9.6 plus 14.4. Whoops. 14.4. So our total surface area here would be 36.8 meters squared. And that would give us our surface area. Now, let's take a look at our final thing here. We have our apply problem. It says Shakira is planning to paint the walls of his bedroom, which is in the shape of a rectangular prism. The bedroom has 1 window and 2 doors. The dimensions of the window and the doors are shown in the table. If 1 gallon of paint covers 150 square feet, how many gallons of paint are needed to cover the walls of a room that is 20 feet long, 15 feet wide, and 8 feet high? Now keep in mind, you do not need to do the floor or the ceiling, okay? So you're going to want to maybe draw a picture to help you with this, and you're going to want to also subtract the areas of the doors and the windows. So that is your apply problem for today. Please give it a shot and send me your answer through email. If you have any questions, please let me know and complete your homework on McGraw-Hill. And I hope you have a great day.